Hello and welcome to another video on biology. This is Preetinder Kaur for Perfect Scores, and we are currently doing genetics, and the topic that we are going to cover in this video is pedigree charts. It's quite a confusing topic for a lot of students because you can get really weird questions and big family charts, and then you may have database questions to solve on that. So what exactly is a pedigree chart? It is basically a chart of the genetic history of a family, and it can also cover more than one generation. So we can say over several generations. There are a few rules that you need to follow in order to draw a pedigree chart. The first thing is that males are represented by squares and females are represented by circles. The other thing, the shaded symbols mean that they are affected by a condition. So if this part is shaded, this would mean they are affected in case of male and in case of a female. And this is going to be unaffected. So those are the rules for a pedigree chart, and apart from that, a horizontal line between a man and a woman shows mating, and the resulting offspring, the resulting children, they are shown as offshoots to this line. For example, this particular pedigree chart is showing the mother, the father, two sons, and one daughter. So let's see how the pedigree charts will look like when you have different kinds of dominant traits and recessive traits. Now, recessive traits, as you might already know from the videos of hemophilia and red-green color blindness, they are shown in females. So if you have a dominant trait, the pedigree chart will look like this. So you will have the mother who is affected, the father who is also affected, their son also affected, and their daughter who is not affected. Now for this, the parents must be heterozygous. Let's say the dominant trait is A and small a. So the female is going to have A and small a. The male is just going to give you A because the other chromosome was Y. And we're talking about the sex-linked inheritance in this case. So the daughter is, there is a possibility that the daughter gets, let's say, this combination. Okay, now the daughter cannot have the Y chromosome, so maybe this combination is there. And the other one is this combination. So maybe this one is a heterozygous state. And so in this case, you need to remember a few points. One is, it cannot be recessive. The dominant trait cannot be recessive, as the affected parents cannot have an unaffected offspring. Additionally, the parents must be heterozygous. For the dominant trait. So in a pedigree chart, if you find any small subchart like this, understand that it is a dominant trait and the parents must be heterozygous. The other kind of trait on the opposite side of the spectrum is a recessive trait. Now what happens in case of a recessive trait? The diagram looks like this. You have an unaffected mother, unaffected father, unaffected son, but affected daughter. So what happens in case of the recessive trait is that it cannot be dominant. as the unaffected parents could not have an unaffected offspring, and in this case also parents must be heterozygous. Now, in order to understand these videos properly, you also need a very clear understanding of what are traits, what is dominant, what is recessive, what is heterozygous, what is homozygous. So if you're not able to understand these pedigree charts, I would suggest watching those videos again and then trying to build these pedigree charts on your own. So this is all that we'll be covering in this video on pedigree charts, and thank you so much for watching this video.